Hey guys, it's Annie, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be, of course, my August 2021 Plan With Me video. I am so excited for this theme. You probably already know what it is from the thumbnail, but yeah, without further ado, be sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell for more bullet journal, inspirational, and wellness content from me. And let's get right to planning. So of course this month's theme is kind of Greek mythology inspired, and kind of like ancient Greece, Greek goddesses, Greek gods, everything like that. So for the cover page I decided to draw kind of like a Parthenon-like building, not statue, like architecture kind of thing. I kind of didn't really use a proper reference for this. I kind of got loads of sources of information like inspiration from Pinterest. I will link some of the photos I used for inspiration down below, but I had different like column designs I wanted to go for, and I kind of just combined loads of ones I saw. For this theme, I actually got inspired a lot by Plant-Based Bride. When she did, I think it was March, she did a Greek goddesses theme, so I kind of wanted to do a spin on that, apart from the fact it's not just Greek goddesses, and I just kind of did the whole Greek mythology inspired thing. So as you can see, I'm drawing like 3 pillars or columns or whatever you want to call them, and then I did like a little roof on the top and then the lettering underneath. So the supplies for this month are kind of basic. Well, the colours are basic, but I mean, the colours are quite simple, but some of the supplies I'm using, you guys might not all have, but of course you can use whatever you guys have at home. So I'm using a black fine liner. The one I'm using for the doodles is a 01 size, but when I go in and write stuff, like the numbers or any kind of key, I use the 02, but for the doodles I use the 01. And then for the gold like lettering, and for like the little highlights or details I added to the drawings, I used this ink. It's like modern calligraphy ink, and I have this like calligraphy pen. I've got it in front of me. It's called Modern Calligraphy Ink. It's for ink for modern dip pen calligraphy. So I've got this like rose gold kind of colour. It's really nice. I will link the one I have down below if I can find it. But I have the like little ink dippy pen, and I kind of go in for the lettering. Of course I use this, and then for like details I will just kind of add some of the colour where I feel it is necessary. I try to keep it very minimal, mainly black and white, and then obviously the hints of gold. But those are the main supplies I'm using. And also you will see for the quote page some of the other stuff I like write out. I use these little letter stamps that I have. These are quite time consuming to use, if I'm being honest, as you have to like stamp each letter. It takes quite a while, but I think it was really worth it. I love the effect. I actually used these in last August's Plan With Me when I did the boat theme, and they turned out really cute, so I thought I'd bring them back because I feel like they kind of go with like the ancient theme, and yeah, I wanted to have a contrast in lettering from the calligraphy, so I decided to go with these. Moving on to the quote page, of course I had to use a quote from A Song of Achilles. You guys know I've talked about this a lot on my podcast, especially. Song of Achilles is my absolute favourite book, along with other Greek mythology books, which I will do a spread on in a bit. But I decided to use one of my favourite quotes from that book, which is, "He is half of my soul, as the poets say." This is Patroclus, talking about Achilles, of course. And I did the little arrow that was on the cover, the front cover of the book that I have, the version I have, and it's like a little arrow, and then for all like the little, it had on the cover, I noticed it had like a little like blood dripping down off of the like tip of the arrow, and I thought I'd use the gold just to symbolize that. I thought that was so cute, and the meaning is just, I love that book so much. I feel like if you haven't read it already, I couldn't recommend it more. Anyways, moving on to the calendar page, I pretty much kept this the same as I do every other one. I did the lettering at the top, of course, with my calligraphy pen in the gold, the rose gold kind of colour I have. And then I did, instead of drawing the grid in black fine liner, I thought there was a lot of black fine liner doodles I've done, so I thought I used like my grey felt tip pen, so I outlined that with my grey felt tip pen. I've done that in the past, and I think it looked really cute, so I decided to add that in this month as well. Then I labeled each day of the week with the stamps, and then add my Instagram and YouTube growth trackers on the left as usual, and then added some olive branches. I feel like they really go with the theme, and you will see me add a lot more of them in the future spreads I do. And I feel like they're just so simple and easy to draw, but they kind of do represent the theme as well. So now that I've finished doing the calendar page, I didn't have enough time to wait for the ink to fully dry. So I just got a scrap piece of paper and put it in between just in case anything smudged or anything like printed onto the next page. I don't want that to happen, so I just got a piece of scrap paper and put it in between just to make sure it didn't ruin the spread. But now for my habit and mood tracker, I did kind of like a more like graph layout. So I started planning this out by doing the 2 pillars in the middle. You'll see me draw them in fine liner later. And then I have my habit on the left page where I just have, I wrote down the habits on the side. And then I have the days of the week, the days of the month, at the top of the grid if you turn it landscape. And then I kind of just fill it in like that. And of course I had to do the title, habits and mood in my stamps, which I thought was so cute. And then I did a similar layout, like habit and mood layout to this in May when I had my kind of like Copenhagen, like colourful building inspired theme. I will have that video linked below if you'd like to check that out. I did a kind of similar layout of mood and habit. It was really cute. I loved it because that time I did like a building in the middle, but I thought if I want to have like a big center doodle or drawing in the middle, I decided to go for the column or like the pillar or whatever you want to call it. I don't really know. But I decided to do that for this one, and I think it turned out really cute, and I feel like it's really practical as well to use. So now moving on to my usual sleep, like kind of graph layout trackers with loads of other like habits I want to track, but like they kind of have some sort of metrics to them. I don't know if that makes sense, but you'll see. And then of course my exercise spread on the right. I do this spread pretty much, I do both of these spreads pretty much every month. Because it's just so helpful. They help me track everything else that I didn't include in my habit and mood tracker. So for the graph layout, I have if you turn it landscape, at the top or on the right, on the far left hand side, I have my sleep tracker. I have the hours 8 p.m. till 8 a.m. and then I just kind of draw a line to show how many of those hours I slept. And then underneath that, I have numbers from 1 to 10, which is like the amount of that I did, whether it's 10,000 steps, 11 hours of like getting consistent steps, or how many hours of screen time I had. So I have those 3 that I'm tracking this month. Usually I would do different colors for each like thing I want to track on the graph, but obviously I didn't want to include color because the color wasn't relevant in this theme. So for this I decided to do different thicknesses of fine liner, and then I used one grey pen. So I used a thick fine liner for steps, and then for steps per hour I did like a really thin one, and then for screen time I did like a little grey because I thought that kind of went with it as well. And then in between I drew like this little like kind of like jug pot, I don't know, but it reminded me of I had all of the book covers of things that I've read, Greek mythology books, and I got inspiration from those covers. And this pot I got inspiration from Circe by Madeline Miller. The cover I have has this kind of like design on it, and I thought it would be really cute to add it in on this spread. Anyways, moving on to my exercise, I did the usual layout. Of course, I have minutes along the top, days of the month along the down the side, and then space for the key. For the key, obviously I couldn't use color as I said in the graph layout. I just used different like kind of like designs or like patterns in the lines so I can see what kind of workout I did or what muscle I trained or what kind of exercise I did. So as usual, I have abs, upper body, lower body, full body, HIIT or any kind of cardio, yoga or Pilates, and walk, and then other. I couldn't include the full name of each thing because the stamps take up more space, so I just did abs, up, low, full, HIIT, yoga, walk, other, because I couldn't fit the whole word in, but I kind of get the idea of what they represent because, you know, it's kind of straightforward to think about. And then underneath that, of course, I had space, so I had to add a column. These are just so cute and they're so easy to draw. I love the fact that you can make them kind of rough, more like an illustration as opposed to like measured out. But of course, if you want to do measured out, I feel like that would look really, really cute as well. You can kind of do what kind of style of drawing or art you would like to do. I feel like you can take this theme so many different ways, depending on how you would like to draw. So now for my content planner, I have done this most of the past couple of months, and it's just helped me to plan out all of the different content I post, whether it is Instagram posts or reels, YouTube videos or podcast episodes. That's basically kind of the stuff I want to plan, and just kind of have a consistent posting schedule and prepare what days I want to post things, whether I've written the caption yet or not, or planned out the photo I'm going to use, or plan out like whether I've taken the photo even, or I don't know, like edited it or recorded the episode, depending on what kind of content I'm posting. I kind of could just track that all in this spread. I kept it nice and simple. I didn't want to add in like the key yet because I'm kind of just going to see how I want to use the spread. I kind of just want to see when I get to planning, just because I feel like it's easier to use closer to the time if I plan that kind of thing. So I left that blank, but I did leave room for me to write it down eventually. And then under that, of course, I had to do a column. I love it when there's just kind of like room and I could just draw like a kind of like Greek mythology inspired doodle, you know. And then of course I added the olive branches next to the title. So now I'm just doing a really, really simple expenses tracker. I've done a few of these in the past in like scattered months. But they were kind of intricate and they had like a whole graph table layout, and I felt like that wasn't very helpful for me. So I kept this one really simple, just left some line space for me to write out what I bought and how much it cost. And yeah, I kept this one really simple because I feel like that's what's going to help me out the most this month. So now, of course, for my last couple of spreads, which is my monthly playlist, and another really fun spread I decided to include, which is where I share my favourite Greek mythology books that I've read so far. So first for the playlist, I wrote I lettered playlist at the top, of course, and then I have 5 songs I want to include, so I'll just let you know what they are right now. So I've got Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran, In the Heights by Anthony Ramos, and the rest of the cast of In the Heights. I literally watched this like last week or a couple of weeks ago in the cinema, and it was so good. I have the soundtrack on repeat, so I just included one of my favourite songs, which is the first song in the film, which I really love. Next, I've got Mirror by Sigrid, Dumb Love by New Web, and Let Them Know by Mabel. These are just 5 of the songs I've been enjoying this month, but I have my entire August 2021 playlist linked down below for you guys to check out. I have even more songs included there that I didn't manage to fit in on this spread. So for the name of the song title, I used my stamps, which took ages and ages to go through, but I think it was worth it in the end. And then I just added like the name of the artist and like pause and play buttons to make it look all cute and make it look like it's on some sort of like streaming service, like, I don't know, Spotify, Apple Music. So now, for the final spread of this video, I didn't manage to include my first weekly spread of August like I would normally do. I usually include the first weekly spread of the month in the Plan With Me video, but I had so much footage for this video, I decided not to include it because otherwise this video would probably be over half an hour, and I wanted to keep it short and sweet for you guys. So I didn't include it, but obviously you will see the pictures eventually on Instagram. I have all of that linked below, of course. So now for the final spread, which is my Greek mythology favorite like book recommendations. I will have a podcast episode where I talk through all of these books and more going up, I think probably next week, so stay tuned for that. I have already recorded it and it's so good for you guys, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I go in more in depth about my ratings, my opinions, and the synopsis of each of the books I talk about. So some of the books I've mentioned here are Circe by Madeline Miller, which I am actually reading right now. I am about halfway, maybe a bit more through it, so I'll probably be finished by the time this video goes up. Then I have The Song of Achilles, I mentioned this earlier, by Madeline Miller again. My favourite book, of course, so that's why I'm reading another one of her books right now, but I couldn't recommend it more. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Then A Thousand Ships by Natalie Haynes. This is really good. It's about the women of Troy and their perspective on the war. I'm not going to go too much in depth about the books because otherwise we'd be here for a while, but I gave that book a 4.5 stars out of 5. Then I've got 3 books by Stephen Fry, which is where he retells the Greek myths. They are Mythos, Heroes, and Troy. Mythos and Heroes I both gave 4 stars, and Troy I gave 4.5 stars. I read Mythos and Heroes last year, I'm pretty sure, and Troy I read earlier this year, and I enjoyed all of them, so I couldn't recommend all 6 of these books more, and I can't wait to read more Greek mythology books and recommend them to you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I didn't have a chance to do the flip through because I lost the footage for that, but you will see, of course, the final photos on Instagram in the coming weeks. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more bullet journaling, wellness, and inspirational content from me, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!